Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, I caught my dad cheating and I don't know what to do anymore. I have moved out but live nearby. I had plans for this weekend, but I had to drop them. I decided to visit home. I didn't find anyone there, so I let myself in and was just hanging out in my room when I heard someone at the door. It was my dad and there was one of my mom's friends with him. It was pretty obvious what they were planning to do. I just left. I couldn't believe it. Dad followed me out and told me that I should talk to Mom and not worry about this. He was surprising calm, but I couldn't handle it and pretty much walked out. It has been a few days and I don't know what to do. Mom hasn't texted me for 2 days and I know something is up. I know I should tell her, but it will crush her. If she knows Dad is cheating on her with one of her close friends. I can't do this. I know I should, but it would be bad and for all I know she would react badly to it and blame me. That has happened to me once when I told a friend about her boyfriend cheating on her. How do I go about telling her? A user in the comments said, I'd say your mom already knows. This isn't for you to get in the middle of, and your dad shouldn't have put you in that position. Speak to your parents, together. Or if you're sure she doesn't know, tell your dad to have a conversation with her. Or you can pretend you saw nothing and move on, which is also totally okay. When we are adults we start to see Mom and Dad as just Jenny and Bob. It's weird, but as long as they are happy that's all you should worry about. Maybe they have an arrangement, who knows? Another user said, I don't think your dad was cheating. He may have been entertaining the friend, but I'm guessing he was calm because your mom knows it and I'm guessing your mom isn't reaching out because now they're afraid you know their secret. The next one is titled, Update to the Dad Story. You guys were right. I texted Mom and she called me. We had a conversation. It was the most awkward conversation ever. She said she was aware of it. I said it was kinda weird that Dad would date someone so close to her and I asked her if she was really okay with it. I felt it was weird. Mom went silent and yeah, I was legit panicking before she told me she dated her friend too. Yeah, pretty awkward conversation and I didn't handle it well at all. I was shocked, mumbled something and cut the call. I did text her after, told her it was okay with me as long as they were happy. My mind is blown. My parents are the most straight, lol, laced people ever. I didn't expect anything like this from them. I will take some time to okay with it, but yeah. I have a lot of memories which I am reevaluating right now. IDK how long they have been, but I think it has been for a long time. Am I an idiot for not finding out? The next one is titled, Husband admitted to me that he has been cheating on me with his cousin for a majority of our marriage. My husband's cousin recently was killed in a car accident 3 weeks ago. This has made my husband visibly depressed and a lot less like himself lately. Tonight, when I got home from work, he had our 2 kids go spend the night at his mother's place and had made us dinner. After dinner he sat me down and told me that I needed to prepare myself for what he was going to say. He then proceeded to tell me about his affair. To sum some things up, he essentially had been doing sexual things with his cousin since she seduced him when she 13 and he was 16. These sexual activities went on through their adulthood up until he started to date me. After we got married, things didn't happen between him or his cousin until around 4 years into our marriage when she supposedly convinced him to continue their sexual activities on the side. We've been married for a little over 15 years for context. This has continued up until 3 weeks ago, as you can imagine. He told me to take it as I will, and he'll accept anything I choose to do considering our marriage. His cousin apparently was a lot more than just some sex fling. I've never would have expected my husband to be cheating. He never did anything that would give it red flags like coming in late or leaving hair of another woman around. I'm at a standstill and not sure where to go from here. I haven't been able to say anything to him after he was so blunt about it. I'm still crying some now. I don't know where to go from here. Any suggestions are welcome. A user in the comments said, Your husband is a major butthole. Not only for cheating but also for not keeping his mouth shut after the affair would never have been found out. His coming clean is not about you but about him. It's not about saving or repairing your marriage because your marriage would never have been in trouble without his confession. This is your selfish husband wanting to get consolation for losing his second wife. In all honesty, get a divorce from that butthole. Another user said, I don't think this marriage can saved. Those are a lot of years of deception and with a family member. My advice. Tell him to leave immediately. Plan a co-parenting schedule. Divorce. Get the house for you and your children. Don't let him take any more than he has already took from you, years of your life. Don't let him play the victim card. Let him wallow in his shame. He has been struggling with the biggest lesson of life, karma. He dug his grave, let him dig his way out. With time and being away from him, you'll heal and move on. Don't let him slither his way back in. Remember, this isn't a small indiscretion, it's a decade of deception. The next one is titled, Update to the Husband-Cousin Story. I want to first say that I appreciate all of the support I've received after posting my first post. I have thought a lot on the suggestions that I've been given and decided to go forward on some. I've talked with my mother about the situation, and she's agreed to take in my children until this situation is dealt with. I've also approached my husband about divorce and put my demands about wanting full custody of our children as well as the house and other things. He hasn't put up a fight regarding any of those and has agreed to it. It's been really hard to swallow all of this, and I'm looking for a lawyer now to help with the divorce. My mother has also suggested to keep the real reasoning of our divorce away from our children as long as possible, especially my eldest daughter, 14. This'll be my second and last post of this matter. The next one is titled, The Ex Doesn't Like the Lunches I Pack? No problem. Contentious divorce with ex-wife. Got to experience a lot of the things that everyone experiences, but more so. One episode was when she hauled me into court accusing me of starving the children, packing them moldy sandwiches, lots of other things. She even claimed that the teachers were aware of this and that they had taken to providing my kids food since I'm so neglectful. None of it was true. And thankfully I was able to successfully defend myself in court, but court is nerve-wracking. Apparently I forgot to say explicitly what the judge needed to hear me say. No, I don't pack moldy sandwiches for the kids. So, I get a court order decreeing those kids shall only be provided with fresh healthy food. No sanctions, no punishment. Just a pretty reasonable decree to be a good parent. Which is what I strive to be anyway. But what judge doesn't know, and I do, is the chocolate sandwiches. My kids have always been picky eaters. I was never happy about this. But with everything else they have gone through in the divorce, this was way down on my list of things to deal with. Which means that yes, when their mom packs them chocolate sandwiches for lunch, I would also pack them chocolate sandwiches. I'm not proud of it, but kids don't need to see conflict between their parents. And believe me, there have been other, bigger parenting issues to deal with that I won't go into here. But now I have a court order to provide healthy food. I'm sure as heck not going to go back in front of that judge and try to argue that chocolate sandwiches count as fresh healthy food. So, I send an email to X explaining that the kids will be eating the free school lunches from now on. Note, free school lunches, which means kids were never in any danger even if her accusations had been true. But when I tell her the kids will be eating school lunches from now on, she is very upset. Oh, but the kids are sensitive. There aren't options they will eat. How can you be so cruel? Can't you at least provide them with chocolate protein bars? You see, she knows what I've been packing them because it's exactly what she packs them. She didn't want me to change, she just wanted to get me in trouble. Also, it is impossible to understate how important control is to her. Denying the kids their special chocolate sandwiches is in line with denying them fresh water. Or kidnapping them. Like it is incredibly important to this woman that every little wish and desire of her children be granted, and to not humor them is, in her eyes, quite literally child abuse. Also, denying her control over what goes on in my house is very upsetting. But, nope, nope, and nope. Take me to court over the food I pack. I'm not packing food anymore. Duh. So, I email with the court, not the judge, to make sure I have support for this school lunch plan. Yes I do. So, the next time I get the kids I explain to them the new plan. They parrot back their mom's talking points. But can't we make the chocolate sandwiches? We are so sensitive. There aren't any options we can eat. Can't you at least give us chocolate protein bars? Nope, and nope. Each week I get to ask them, how was the school lunch? And it's a win-win for me. If they answer, not good, I can trot out the old, it's good for you to try different things, and I can enjoy knowing that I'm teaching them life skills, and if they say it was good I can genuinely be happy for them. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to going back to court and explaining to the judge that X is still packing chocolate sandwiches. The next one is titled, Ex-boss accused me of reporting him, so I did. I worked for his small company for 6 weeks at the end of 2020, it was landscape architecture. He sacked me with no real explanation when I was off sick with the virus. I have undiagnosed, highly suspected, ADHD, so I wasn't massively surprised, it affects my performance. But I was surprised by the timing and the fact it was via email. I asked for more clarity. I was never rude to him. I just told him I wish he'd called me so I could get some feedback. He got really mad and proceeded to write a long list of my over-exaggerated and some false shortcomings, e.g., too slow, distracted, stuff he never mentioned at the time. He then said, if you want to take legal action against me, let me know. I didn't. I left it and moved on. Fast forward to today. He just called my mobile from a private number asking how I was. I was taken aback as we have had no communication since. He said, someone has put in a report I'm using unlicensed software, was it you? Because I know we left on bad terms. I said I've no idea what you're talking about. He made it seem I was devastated he sacked me, lol, and would have good reason to report him. No matter what I said, he was convinced it was me. He even accused my dad, who works in IT. I didn't even know he was using unlicensed software. I said, I feel like you're unfairly accusing me here. He raised his voice and shouted, why do you always play the victim? Stop playing the victim. Probably in reference to the fact I questioned the way he sacked me. It sounded so rehearsed I honestly had to hold back laughter. Then he said, I'm not accusing you, but did you do it? Looking back, I believe it was unlicensed. We only ever used the student version of Autodesk, which is illegal when you're running a business. This combined with his accusation tells me he is in fact breaking the law. I was so pissed off by his accusation I reported him to both Autodesk and the BSA. He'll have to run an audit and likely face a huge fine. He thinks I did it either way, so what harm can one more report do? The next one is titled, Boss tells me I'm not a manager, so I stopped doing her job. For background, I work in mental health and substance use services. I have worked in my job for a long time now. My boss is never available for help and hardly on site. Recently she has got a new manager who is not impressed with her work ethic, but then lockdown happened and he had to shield. She has gone straight back to her old ways. Boss will often ask me to do her work for her to save her coming in, which I have never minded doing up until recently. I had a meeting with my boss after an incident at work where someone tried to assault me. I told my boss I didn't feel supported by her after it had happened as she wasn't present and didn't manage it well afterwards. In the middle of the meeting, boss says perhaps you want to consider some easier work in a different department. Me. What? Why? Boss. Well, you do take on a lot of extra work that you don't need to. A lot of this work is managers' jobs. Maybe you need to learn to say no to taking on all this work? I asked if there was something wrong with my standard of work, if she had concerns, etc. And she says no. 3 months down the line 4 of the team leave and they get new people in. Boss. Oh, can you induct new starters on their first day? Me. Sorry boss, that's a manager's job. Boss. Can you complete fire risk assessment? Me. Sorry boss, that's a manager's job. After a while she stops asking me things, then one day she's working from home. I'm pretty sure she has been telling her manager she's on site throughout lockdown, but mostly isn't. Huge incident kicks off with residents. Emergency services are called, etc. I call boss and explain to her what happened. Boss. Can you please do follow up with commissioning body, staff and residents involved and write the report, send it all directly to me please? Me. Sorry boss, you will need to come in to manage this. I'm not a manager, that's not my job. Boss, just this once please? I refused to manage the incident. Turned out she was visiting a friend who lived at the coast whilst she was meant to be on site. Someone accidentally let slip to her manager when he called in the incident and there was no one to manage. He asked me to deal with the incident. I explained I couldn't, and that boss had reported me as taking on too much work to owe. A full investigation has been launched into her conduct and ability to do her job. Manager now talks to me directly and supervises me. He is helping me apply for a promotion. Boss is on leave, pending investigation. Edited to show difference between my boss and manager for those finding it hard to read. Also sorry if this is not enough for people, my grammar has always been an area I struggle in. Edit again to answer people who ask why I would do boss's work in the first place. The residents still deserve support and to be given the best chances. If I can make that easier for them by taking on extra work, I will. There is enough going on for people who come to us. They don't need things being messed up because others don't want to do their jobs. Edit again. Thank you everyone for the awards. I didn't expect this to gain any real attention. I just wanted a place to share. All the people who have worked in these services. You are all awesome people. Thank you for sharing and all the work you do. I don't think you can ever hear that enough. Everyone who has used services. You guys are great too. Remember, take everything one day at a time, and be super proud of yourselves every day. Don't be afraid to ask for support. There are lots of people who care out there for you. For people asking, yes, I now have a manager's job in a new service which I am helping to create. My ex-manager went sick for several weeks and hasn't returned since. The next one is titled, Aida for asking my wife to quit her job after her boss tried to kiss her. So, I am M24, and my wife is F25. She is my high school sweetheart. We've been together since we were 18 and went through uni together too. We married last year and overall, everything is going really well. This year she started a job in a fashion store. It's her first job ever, and she really enjoys it there. So, she frequently goes to after-work dinners and drinks with her coworkers, most of which are male. I'm fine with that, of course. I fully trust her and know she would never want to cheat on me. Also, she always tells me everything and doesn't leave out details. I know all of her coworkers, including her boss. I've met them a few times before. So, the other day she tells me that after one of those evening outs with her coworkers she was walking with her boss back to the store to pick something up at around 4 a.m., and he tried to kiss her. She of course pulled away right away. I believe her, and she went home to me to tell me straight away. Of course, I am freaking out. I don't like this one bit. Her boss knows me. He knows we are married. So, the next morning I gathered my thoughts and told her straight up that I would like her to quit her job. I don't feel comfortable her working there anymore. She says I'm overreacting. She would never do anything with him, and she loves her job and enjoys getting paid, of course. She is not even considering looking for something else. She really wants to stay there, but I feel super uncomfortable. She said she wouldn't go for drinks alone with her boss anymore, but honestly that's not enough for me. Aida for asking her to quit her job? A user in the comments said, YTA, you don't get to dictate whether or not she quits her job. You can tell her you're worried about her safety or encourage her to report her boss to HR or explore other job options, but you don't get to tell you want her to quit. Another user said, YTA, there was a situation, she handled it correctly and you are trying to punish her for it. This is how you make sure she doesn't tell you in the future, by being this controlling and unreasonable. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.